And today's project is to change out a set of 4-inch washerless faucets, and I'm going to replace them with a set of Moen single lever. Took place, the homeowner went to turn on the hot water, just like so. Water was running fine, went to turn it off and it wouldn't move, so pushed on a little bit, and lo and behold, the stem popped out of there and there was water bouncing off the ceiling. So managed to come down and turn the valve off here. This is a ball valve, and it was a bit of a struggle, and also turned off the coal, but it wouldn't quite shut off. So I'm going to replace both these valves, and I'm going to put angle valves there as well. The faucets that I'm replacing these with are Moen, like I stated. This is a flange that is going to cover 2 holes, single lever, right here, and it's a pretty sharp looking faucet. The supplies come with it. There's also an O-ring. I'll go step by step as I'm putting it together. There's an O-ring that drops right in there. It actually goes to the bottom of the faucet, makes the seal around there. There's a nice gasket at the bottom of this as well. So no putty or anything required. There's a mechanical waste that came with this. I am going to change that as well. And I'm going to change this P-trap. As you can see, there's a fair bit of mineral buildup, and if I give that a squeeze, it bends quite easily, and that's a sure sign that it's had its day. I think it's around 30 years old, so time to change it out, and we're going to get at it. So the first thing I'm going to do is go downstairs, shut the water off, and I'll open these valves up and open a faucet downstairs that'll drain the water out of here, and I'll proceed to take these shut-offs off and replace them with new ones, turn the water back on so the homeowner is good to go as far as the water situation goes, and then I'll start the installation. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the speedway supplies. These are flex connections. And we'll make a little water here. It's not going to be anything too serious, so if there is, hoping that it was drawn up from down below. And I'm installing 2 angle ball valves. And hoping that the nuts and ferrule that are on these valves now, the 5/8, are going to fit the angle valves. With any luck at all, I'll find out in a minute. The camera's right in the way there, so it's a little bit of a pain in the backside trying to get this, but there we go. There's a little water there that could be a sign that it's going upstairs, as far as teed off going up to the bathroom upstairs. So I'm hoping this goes on there fine, and it seems to be doing just great. I'm happy about that. And there's that. There's quite a long, the supplies come with the faucet, and they're a couple of feet long, so I'm going to face them this direction. I actually thought about straight down, and you know, I might just face them straight down. What the heck? Because there is a lot of there is quite a good length as far as the length of the supply goes. So I swung the camera over there to sort of take it out of my way here. I'm just going to take this drawer valve straight down. it slips. The stock on that valve isn't really that deep, so get hold of that. So there's one. Now I'm going to do the same thing the other side. So the water back on, homeowner's all set. So the next thing I'm going to do is remove the supplies and then the faucets. And for that I'm using the Basin wrench. It's a plumber's best tool. So the head pivots back and forth. This one's a rigid, it's telescopic. So you can make it 4 different lengths. So it's just a matter of taking it, sliding it up there. You don't have to get underneath the vanity to see what's going on. Basically, you're just gonna feel the jaw go onto the nut, and down it comes. So this is how simple this is. As I say that, it's cracked. The nice part about these supplies as well is they have gaskets on either end, so that's a major bonus. Get the other one. Just gonna find that right spot. Not quite right. Not the sound we want to hear. So I'll just move that around a little bit until I find it. There we go. Wow. And that one was almost hand tight. Slight twist and it comes off. So. Now the mechanical drain, is this device right here. Now up inside here, there's a nut that lengthens is used, I should say, to adjust the length of the rod above the sink. So just a matter of loosening that off. A little wrench, give that a turn. That's loose, but it's jammed up top. So there we go. That's out. That's down. Now it's a matter of taking the Basin wrench again, doing the exact same thing with the faucets. Hopefully they're not going to fight with me too much. And they're the, I think, yeah, plastic nuts, or hold down nuts, I should say. There's one. Don't argue with me. And there's the other. And there's a set of faucets. So next step is to remove. We're going to remove the trap. Remove the trap and the mechanical drain. So our next little project is to remove the P-trap, like I had stated, and the mechanical waste. So I placed a bucket down below here because you are going to get a little water from the drain here. There's no question about it. So I have a chrome extension, and I probably will need it for this next, when I put the new trap on there. Here's our water. No jewelry. Sometimes you'll find that. Earring or such. So we have a inch and a half or an inch and a quarter trap adapter right at the wall. Just loosen that off like so. And remove that makes the trap. Should probably take this off because I can see this being a hand banger. Wow. Okay. The mechanical drain is exceptionally loose. So I've used 2 extensions here, and I'm not certain why. But I was hoping just to pull that down. There we go. Alright. So now I'll work this back and forth. And you can tell over time it's gotten a little stiff. Drain isn't in that bad a shape. Well, mind you, the drain just broke off in the wall. Like I say, it's a matter of time, this stuff gets exceptionally soft. So I'm going to just try and pick some of that out of there. But it's in far enough so that it's broke off flush, or it's broke off about probably 3/4 of an inch. So if I just bring that piece in that far, it should be alright. Let me just take a screwdriver, see if I can bring a little bit more of that out. Anyway, that part is done. So now, grab a piece of tape here. Now it's time to remove that mechanical waste here. See what I'm looking at. Just your lift mechanism. That's the ball joint right there. And all that does is just pivots back and forth and lifts your drain up and down. So this one is screwed in from up above, but in order to get it out, I have to back this nut off here as far as I can, and then unscrew the top part and pull this down through. A little bit different. Some of them are, so these are usually pretty dirty inside because this is the overflow where all the garbage and that collects right inside the basin. So I backed the nut off underneath. Now I'm just going to lift this up like so, and this should screw off here. Perfect. And you can see all the garbage and junk that's collected in there, so we'll clean that out and start to rebuild things here in a minute. So we've cleaned the sink up and all the garbage is down below. Here we have a set of faucets. The way these work as far as tie downs go, it's pretty slick. This piece of threaded rod comes with them. You make that up into the faucet like so, just like that. So the O-ring is going to go on here, and this is going to be your tie down, and that is going to go like so, and they have a nut that simply goes on there and you tighten it down. The nicest part about this whole thing is they actually give you a wrench, and it slips up there like so. You take a screwdriver, you put it in here and you turn it. Well, first you do it hand tight, then you take your screwdriver, you put it in and you tighten the faucet down, and it is absolutely fantastic. My favorite part of installing this faucet, because you don't have to worry about getting underneath there and being concerned about any other nuts except for that one. So anyway, that's how that goes in place. So have the faucet mounted in place now, and the next step is to hook up the speedway supplies, and I measured them. They're actually 30 inches the length that comes with the faucet, so just keep that in mind. They can actually go down to the floor as far as the vanity goes. Anyway, we'll tackle that and see how it goes. So I'm just about to hook up the water lines here. Just a little note that I should have probably mentioned earlier. Whenever you're putting valves on, such as these, make sure you leave that 3/8 nut on there just to protect the thread, because there's absolutely nothing worse than not having it on there, the wrench slipping or whatever, and you end up ruining the thread in that. Then you need a new valve. So these faucets come, they have a tag on that says hot, nice and simple. One in here that says cold. Not going to get much easier than that. Keep them tucked into the wall. They won't be in anybody's way. So it's a 5/8 spanner used. I'll just use a small crescent wrench here. Same thing, and there is a little gasket in there, so it's not a matter of cranking these too tight. They don't have to be. And if you want to keep it into the wall here, for example, on this side, you take a pair of channel locks like so, and you can just gently hold that stainless tubing underneath there, tightening the nut while you do that, and that'll hold that in place. Anyway, next step is the mechanical waste. And I've plugged off the drain because the sewer gas coming back there was fairly strong, so we'll leave that there until I add the P-trap. Anyway, we're moving along. So the secret to having a watertight drain p.o.plug is putting the drain in place, put a mark on it, or you can measure down, doesn't matter. This is how I do it anyway. And then you're going to take Teflon and wrap it above that mark. You can probably do 5 or 6 wraps, and that will seal the gasket against the P.O. plug. So what I'm talking about there is, if you don't apply the Teflon to the thread and it fills in the threads that are on the mechanical waste, the PO, the gasket won't seal tight into here. So by wrapping this around, I put I think 7 windings there of Teflon on there. By applying that, you're going to take your gasket, tighten it up, and it's going to compress between this and the sink, and you're going to have a watertight joint. Very, very important to do this. That is of major importance as far as having it watertight. So we'll do a little installation here, and there's a little trick about this type of drain that takes place. So I've kneaded some putty and I've dropped this into place. I haven't really pulled it down yet. First thing that has to go on there is this gasket. The reason I didn't pull this down as well, the bottom part of this PO has to be lined up directly towards the back before you tighten it down. And what I do is I'll slide the gasket on, then this plastic washer, just a slip washer, and the nut. In that order. like so. Then this bottom section goes on. Now what makes the seal between these two is just a small O-ring that drops down inside there, just like so. And I'll lift it up and just tighten that up. Then I'll take this the lift mechanism here, and I'll just show you inside here what's going on. In here we just have a little piece of plastic that's actually the same shape as the ball, and that allows the ball to move freely up and down. The inside of the nut that is here is tapered as well, takes the shape of the ball. So we just take that, slide it in place, of course. This happens when the camera's on you. Slide that in place, turn it around here like so, face it directly in the back, and then tighten up the nut. This will pull the gasket down to where it meets the Teflon. But by putting that lift mechanism in place, it allows you to get an exact direction towards the back. So we're just about there. Back these off another notch. Sorry about that, folks. I got the camera right in front of me here. So that is heading right there. I just want to make sure it's all right there. A little more there. And that's it. So that little O-ring that's in there, that's all that makes the seal. Now I can take this part off, and the gasket has met the Teflon. Above, I'll just bring this up here. Putty's pull down. Just a matter of removing that like so. And now we shall hook up the lift lever. Comes in two parts. And we want to take your plug. The chrome on the PO itself has plastic on it. Remove that before you get into installing it. Much easier. This one, same thing. You're just going to drop that in over the top like so, and slide this in place. You want it to find a point where it locks in place. And sometimes it can be a little struggle to get that spot, but so I finally managed to get the lift lever in place. These are the two parts that go above. We simply drop this one from the top, and this nut tightens up inside. So I'll do that right now. So attach the two parts together, the lift rod and this adjustment rod. So it comes with a piece of spring steel, and you want to find out the height, what height you want the rod above the faucet or above the basin itself. So I'm going to use this hole here. We're going to take it and put that piece of spring steel through the first hole. Turn a little sideways. Just like so. Squeeze it together. should go. Just like that. Straighten it out. There you have it. That will stay on there until the cows come home. Give it a try up here, see how things work. I hear a little something up here, so we'll just make a slight bend in the rod itself. There, much better. And we're all set. Now we're on to the P-trap. So I put my chrome extension on the PO, and I'm just going to take a measurement from here to the center, which is roughly, let's say 7 5/8. Now this P-trap, it comes with plastic washers or gaskets. And I'll just make this up first. Like so. And take my measurement from there to there. We'll cut that off and see what takes place. So I have the piece cut. Now I will put it in there like so, and then get a rough measure for where my extension is going to be cut off. Right about there should be fine. So I've got the extension off, and now it is a matter of taking the trap apart. Now I think I'll use the rubber gasket in this one. Cut on there like so. Take our flange, slide that over here, or scutching, as they call it. There's our drop adapter nut and ferrule. Slide that in place. So, and we're going to take the trap, slide this nut up here, just like this one on there like that. Hopefully they'll marry up just fine. Not quite. We just have to, oh, there we go. And I thought everything was all right. Forgot that could go up a little bit further. So, tighten that up. Tighten this in place. And that. Put a nut in the wall. Tighten that one first. The ferrule. They don't have to be cranked. It's a nice soft gasket in there. So, well, the other thing is the drain on the trap itself. There's a rubber gasket there. Just a little turn. That's it. Let's turn our water on and see what happens here. All right. Really truthfully, I'm going to take the aerator to there with this wrench. Doing this while I'm holding the camera Might be a little project, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Leave that there like so. Turn my water on. So the hot's to the back and the cold's to the front. If you want to change that, it's just a matter of taking the handle out and rotating the brass piece. That is as good as it gets. So now I just have to stick the aerator back in place. I'll let the drain go here and see how things look. Everything looks to be watertight. We're good to go. Gotta love Moen. Great faucet. Thanks for watching.